and welcome to today's video. I'm very excited because I finally got my hands on the new Natasha Denona Pastel palette. I cannot wait to play with this. I'm so excited. I ordered this on a pre-order from Natasha Denona's website and she's here. I'm so excited to play with these pastels. We have a lot of fun colors. We're going to do swatches. We're going to do 2 different eye looks. We're going to see how this palette performs. I'm going to give you my thoughts. And if you are new here, hey, my name is Heather and makeup makes me happy. Here at my channel, we do not try to be perfect. We just want to have a good time with our makeup, whatever that means. Shimmer, glitter, pastels, we are here for it. So if that sounds good to you, I do hope that you will subscribe before you leave today because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. So if you are looking for fun makeup content, this is the place to be. But I cannot wait to put this on my eyes. So let's jump into it. Okay, this is the Natasha Denona Pastel palette. First of all, this is her $65 price point midi palette. I love this outer packaging. It's very light and pastel, but it goes from this like light pastel pink down to this purpley blue green pastel. I just think the packaging is so cute. It is one of her palettes where you have the little dots on the back so you can pop out the pans if you want to rearrange these shadows. Now this is a pastel palette, but I do want to pop up the swatches for y'all so that you can see this swatched so well. From what I know, this swatched just like what I expect Natasha Denona palettes to perform like. So I'm very excited about that. And while these are light pastel tones, they did seem very pigmented and smooth. I myself love Natasha Denona shadows. I think they are so buildable, blendable, pigmented. I have so many of her palettes and I knew I had to get this. Now I've said before that pastel shades are not my favorite shades to use, like all pastel looks, but I love having pastels to mix and match with other palettes. And I just knew I had to have all the pastels in the Natasha Denona formula because I love her formula so much. She's definitely in my top 5 favorite eyeshadow formulas ever. So to have a palette like this that I can mix and match with my other palettes, I'm just so happy about. There's a good mix of mattes and metallics and shimmers and toppers. So I'm excited about that. We do have the very nice mirror in here and I just want to create some pastel looks. I have seen lots of people comparing this to other palettes, trying to dupe it out, and in my opinion, I don't have these shades in any other pastel palettes. My other 2 like favorite pastel palettes would be BH Cosmetics Lost in Los Angeles and the Glam Light Ice Cream Dream palette. I love those, but I just don't feel like they're comparable in formulas. Those are all 3 very different formulas and I don't feel like I have these shades over again. So I'm super excited to try that. I kind of wanted to give y'all my first impression thoughts on it before I've applied it on my eyes, and then we're going to create 2 looks together, which I'm really excited about. So now that you've seen the up close of the palette, you've seen the swatches, you've heard my thoughts, we're going to create a look on each eye. And when I'm working with pastels, I usually like to use a base that's a bit lighter than my skin tone. It just helps the pastels pop. Now when I'm working with darker shadows and I'm bringing pastels in just to help blend them out, I don't worry about that. But for all pastel looks, I'm going to use my MMMITCHELL Acid Rain with PLOUISE eye base. This is a good bit lighter than my skin tone, so it's really going to help these shades to pop. So I'm going to prime my eyes, I'm going to zoom y'all in, and we're going to see if these shadows perform just like the amazing Natasha Denona quality that I know and love. We're going to see what kind of looks we can create, and we'll kind of talk about it as we go along. Okay, you can see this eye primer is not white, but it's definitely light and it's going to help these shadows to pop. So what I want to do first is I want to go in with this shade right here called Zest. This really beautiful kind of lime shade. It's so, so light. And then for the other eye, I'm going to use the shade Bellini, which is this really, really light kind of peachy color. Okay, so I'm going to make sure there's no creases in my eyes, and I'm going to pop this right here. This is the shade I was most excited for, and I'm using an R102 from What's Up Beauty, and you can see that is a very, very light but bright shade. So I'm just going to put this in. We're just going to do like a two-toned crease type of look so that I can use kind of as many shades in this palette as possible, so that if you bought this palette, maybe I can give you some inspiration. Or if you are considering it, I want to try as many shades so I can kind of give you my feedback on as much as the palette as possible. But I'm just kind of blending that on. That is building up to be pretty electric neon almost, but very light, of course. Okay, then for over here, I'm taking the same brush. It's just a clean one. And I'm putting that Bellini shade. Again, this is very bright and neon, isn't it? That's really pretty. Okay, now I'm going to use this shade right here called Bora, and then I'll use this shade called Bubble. So kind of this purpley and then kind of this periwinkle type blue. I'm using an R105 from What's Up Beauty. And this shade is going to be very buildable because it is her cream to powder formula, which is one of the best formulas that Natasha makes, in my opinion, because you can use it as like a base for other shadows, or you can use it on its own. It's very buildable, very blendable, and I just, honestly, I love this formula from Natasha. But I'm just using this as like a second color in the crease. And those two shades look so cool together. Oh, I'm so here for these colorful shades. Oh, color makes me so happy. So you can see this shade is way lighter than it looks in the pan. With the cream to powder formula, depending on the brush you use and layering, you can make it look deeper and deeper. I picked up kind of a fluffier brush, and this is also a natural hair brush, not a synthetic, because I wanted to get those fun pastel vibes. But if you more packed the shade on, you could definitely deepen this up a bit. But I just wanted to keep it light and bright and pastel. And I'm going to go in with the same brush, just a clean one, R105, and I'm going into Bubble. This is another one of that kind of cream to powder. And I'm going to buff that in. Same motion. You can see, oh, it just looks so cool next to that kind of peachy orange tone. I love the contrast of like the green and purple to the orange and blue. I'm just gonna blend and build. Okay, now I'm going to grab this Game Beauty 04 brush, and I want to go into the shade Airy right here. So I'm going to use Airy now, and then I'm going to go into Tulle, this more mauve-y shade. But first we're going to take Airy, and I'm just going to put this under the lower lash line, just like that. I'm just going to buff and blend, and I want this to come down pretty low as well. You can see I'm kind of taking it as low as my lower lashes go. And I'm just buffing it in like that. And then I'm going to grab the same type of brush, but this one's from BH, and I'm going to go into that Tulle shade that was that kind of pinky shade, like a mauve-y, not quite mauve, but not quite bubblegum. And I'm going to buff that in right under this lower lash line. Same technique, just blending out. I'm pretty happy with how this is coming together. So far we've used 6 of the matte shades in this palette. which I feel pretty good about. And I'm just loving this. Honestly, I kind of feel like I could throw on mascara and be done and have this kind of all matte look. I could even take like this matte light blue Brisk or Feather down here, and I could do that as an inner corner and be good to go. But I really want to play with some of these shimmer shades. So let's actually play with a few of these. First, I'm going to go into this shade right here called Duet, and then I'm going to go in with Dainty. So this shade right here and then this shade up top. Okay, this is a BK Beauty 203, and I did spray my brush with a little bit of makeup mist. Doesn't matter what kind, I just prefer that so that I don't get fallout. And I'm just going to kind of pack this onto my lid. Okay, I feel like I'm getting the best color payoff with my finger, actually. I mean, the brush is working okay, but I think it's looking even better with my finger, which I don't mind. That's fine. I'm just going to kind of tap this all over the lid, but not on this part right here. Then I'm going to go in with Dainty, actually. Whoops, pick that up on my finger. And I'm going to put that right there. That's really pretty. I want to kind of blend these two into one another. Then I'm going to go back to the brush. Sorry, I'm knocking stuff over. I'm going to go back to the brush and buff that in. That's really pretty, kind of duochrome shade. And then with Dainty right here, kind of just fading and blending those in together. I mean, these are very light shades. It's a very light look, but I think that looks really cool. I don't mind using a finger for some of my shadows if it helps them get the most impact. I would love to know what you think. I mean, most of the time I use brushes, and it was applying really pretty with a brush too, but I just really kind of like the way it looks with the finger. I just think I got it a little more impactful. I'm just going to go back and make sure that I didn't cover up the matte green too much. Okay, I just think that's looking so beautiful. So what I want to do over here is I want to go in with this really, really sparkly shade called Mint Frost. And then I want to go in with Limoncello, this shade right here. Okay, so I'm going to apply Mint Frost right here. And you can see that's applying so beautifully. I like that very much. That's beautiful. And with my finger, I'm going to pick up Limoncello, and we're going to put that right here on the inner part of the lid, kind of how we did the two shimmers over here. We're going to do the two shimmers over here as well. Okay, now for the inner corner, I'm going to go in with this shifty shade right here called Illusion, the one that looks kind of like white pink. And this is going to be my inner corner highlight for both looks, actually. When I wear two different eye looks like this, I like to kind of match the inner corner. I think it can help kind of make them look like pulled together. Even though they're so different, having the inner corner can just be fun to just kind of bring them together and make them look a little more cohesive, because I'm definitely going to be wearing this makeup look all day. I am going to put on some eyeliner. I am going to put on some lashes. I'm going to see if I need to blend anywhere, anything like that, and I'm going to come back and we'll kind of talk through how I feel about this palette. Alright y'all, this is our finished look. Since we have this light pastel look, I decided to throw on my black HINDASH liner and some big LILLY lashes. These are in the style MYKONOS, just to give a little bit of drama to the light look. I really like this look though. Let me just say, first of all, if you don't like pastel shades, if you're like, I'll never use light pastel colors, this palette's not for you. This palette is for me. I will say, how many shades did we use? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11. 11 of the 15 shades. That's a lot of shades. I can tell you, first, second time using this, I enjoy this palette. I'm very happy with my purchase. It feels like it is the same great Natasha Denona formula that I know and love, and I'm very happy to have a pastel palette from her in my collection. Now, how I'm going to use this going forward is mixing this with other palettes with darker shades. I cannot wait to use this with my Zendo palette, with my Circo Loco palette, with just any of my other palettes. I cannot wait to use these pastel shades to blend. I'm so happy I have these shimmer shades. I mean, I really like my eye look. I think it's so pretty. Of course, I do normally go for palettes that have a lot of depth because I just love dark colors, but I'm very happy to have this. I think this performed so beautifully. I have to say, if I had to pick a favorite eye, it would definitely be the green and purple, but I do like this too. I think this is super fun. I would love to know, are you considering this palette? Did you purchase this palette? I know a lot of y'all told me that you were planning to grab this when it launched. I will have it linked down below for y'all, both at Sephora and at BEAUTYLISH. And I'm happy with my purchase. I love Natasha Denona eyeshadow formula. I know I've said that a ton, but I'm just really happy with it. Okay, let me tell you what is on my face before I let you go, and I do want to let you know that I always follow up reviews with ranking videos. That will probably come in either a few weeks or maybe even another month or two. I will definitely let you know how I feel about this palette. I always like to play with things and play with things and play with things and then do ranking style videos. If you like ranking videos, I do have a ton on my channel. But for the rest of my face, I am wearing my Makeup Forever HD foundation. Been loving that. I'm wearing my One Size concealer. I'm wearing my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. I'm wearing my Natasha Denona Love Glow cheek palette. I just have on these two shades right up here for kind of blush and highlight. And then for lips, I'm wearing Pat McGrath Suburbia lip liner with Pat McGrath Divine Rose Gloss. I would love to know what you think of these looks. I am really feeling it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a super awesome day. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you very soon in another video. Bye!